Welcome to the Do It All Dad Year podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me, controlling our kids through comedy, can make our kids great again. And I'm your host, Michael Kornbluth, and this is episode 59, Better Than Loved. What's better than love, Dada? Being looked up to you with your pure, good blasting eyes, female flash. My firstborn, Singin' Rose, is my sweeter, funnier, 10 times smarter twin. Compared to her two brothers, she looks like me the most. Although, you'll never hear Baba give Daddy Longlegs credit for my star-making gene power. Can I get a holla for some holla? I hate hearing, kids ruined my life. Like, you had to decline so many invitations to the Playboy Mansion afterward. Kids ruined your life. Stop acting like your whiteboard rehash reiterations at the Phoenix Airport Executive Lounge made such riveting lore to begin with. Kids ruin your life. Yeah, maybe. I don't see your daughter's first grade teacher fantasizing about cloning more versions during your next parent-teacher conference either. Reality is, my kettlebell, den strong, everless, hilarious daughter, sweet clone Matilda, is an out-of-this-world life giver, infinite upgrade upper. She'll take anyone in touch with her orbital spin of supreme loveliness. Yeah. I got my TV writing break at VH1 Classic in the big city when she was 2. Then Matilda could only deliver one-word punchlines for our comedy act at the deli. Matilda, what did Tyson Chandler give the Knicks? My daughter says, "Bupkis, Daddy, bupkis." Now my 7-year-old daughter is picking out and checking out Ivy and Bean chapter books with her own library card because she has to make up for her dad's reading shortcomings, who's never read a book of fiction in his life, according to her. I just learned how my dad was the headliner speaker at his best friend's funeral, not his firstborn daughter. This upset me tremendously. A daughter is a dad's special baby forevermore, who outshines whatever purported killer set eulogy you delivered on your best bud's behalf. No offense, Dad. My parents describe themselves as involved, affectionate grandparents 8 days a year is a prime example of good grandparent derangement syndrome. Better than loved is the never-ending hug with your 7-year-old daughter at home, prompting her to say, "Daddy, I never want this moment to end." But ease up on my rib cage a bit. Is this what Mama means about you being too rough with her? Better than loved is your daughter taking one bite of your burrata bomb, roasted homegrown, cherry tomato, basil specked, cornmeal dusted pizza and saying, "Daddy, I know you really want to be a comedian, but can you be a pizza maker in heaven instead?" Better than loved is a daughter who makes his do-it-all dad feel like the luckiest man on earth. The end. Thanks to my new editing partnership with the Kara Post-Kennedy at the Good Men Project. She had posted that on the Good Men Project site today, so I want to give a shout out and thank Kara for spreading that love letter in honor of my daughter to the universe, because it's going to be a chapter in the Stay-At-Home Comedian. 3 kids got my act together. She had to take out some stuff. I had some more hardcore lineage in it, but they have a board of directors to answer to, and I'm just thrilled at the fact that they're going to continue to republish more chapters and give more exposure, put a greater spotlight on the book, and it gives me more funny man writer cred. So thanks again, Good Men Project. Again, you made this Hanukkah season, one that lit me up with extreme happiness a long time. So again, this is episode 59, Better Than Loved. Eventually, I'll have to have my daughter, Singin' Rose, write that song because it's a great title. And she's the perfect female Lady Gaga incarnate to pull it off. So this is me, far from edgeless. I saw a garbage truck rider almost get sideswiped today off the side of the road. He relinquished his rage by throwing the garbage in the truck with like real fury. This is the life my mom was pushing for me. Roadkill and a red specked orange vest. A while back, my mother denies it, but we were on the phone, and she says, just become a garbage man. Like, do something to support your family. So brings me a lot of joy knowing I could still get a major comedic mileage out of that conversation ever since. So this conversation I had with my kids in bed last night. This is me, the stay-at-home comedian. Kids, in life, learn to trust your instincts on people. If your gut ever screamed to you, they're beneath you, they are. Meaning, life is too short to waste on arrogant blowhards who remain the same. This is my impersonation. This is me on the phone with an old LA bud of mine a couple of nights ago. This is me. This is my impersonation of Russell Simmons. Read my lisp. LA bud, yeah? And then I reply, that was just the guaranteed laugh setup. In barbecue every day, Dr. Dreland, are you banned from laughing at hip-hop mogul speech impediments now? Can I get a holla for some holla? I appreciate the sentiment, but the mantra behind persistence pays off eventually, from my vantage point, is obvious. Plus, it underscores your unique brand of artistic machismo, if you will, which doesn't rain down from avocado trees either, last time I checked. I really do appreciate the sentiment, but the mantra behind persistence pays off eventually, from my vantage point, is beyond obvious. Plus, it makes you feel like a more dedicated Jack Lemmon without stealing the Glengarry leads. Ha! Memo to Peggy Noonan. She writes op-eds for the Wall Street Journal. It's Trump's world now, babe. Your pup pieces sucking the glory of Reagan's yesteryears are over. Meanwhile, your life suck-up op-eds have been relegated to the New York Post. Salesmanship isn't your forte. Know your lane, babe. Where does has-been running on Reagan year far fumes Peggy Noonan get off calling President Trump unserious compared to denture breath Pelosi? One's making sure MS-13 doesn't get in again. The other is funding a welcoming mat with Golden Globe gift bags. I love the smug response every time you bring up Melania. Oh yeah, Melania's real classy. She posed in blah blah blah. Sorry, Michelle isn't as pose-worthy. And Nancy Reagan was no Betty White back in the day either. But feel free to snicker at will. Hillary looks great in Spanx as a two-time loser though. It's me on the phone with an old UX designer pal bud of mine. He says, feminists will skin you for a book about falling for fatherhood. And I said, fake feminists are my target audience, especially childless, egg-riding, Flavia, hack girls into cock block parties, dumping enough to work in HR. So these are some good old-fashioned titles for a new blog about my two sons. My boyish boys, my son Samuel, a.k.a. Headbanger's Ball, rocking his head up and down to Boston's More Than I'm Feeling on vinyl. At 2, it's a momentous place to start. Can I get a holla for some holla? This is me in the car. It's my son. He's 5. This is Archo USA. He says, no music. Can't we talk? And I said, whatever you say, mama. Ha! This is me. My daughter asking me. She says, why do you always ask brown people about the Knicks? A little context, folks. Whenever I'm around the public, I'm very social. And if I ever see anyone wearing Knick gear or an African-American, a brother, I feel it's my moral obligation as a New Yorker to ask about the Knicks. So, and I'm with like my kids all the time. And, it's, I don't really care about, listening to ESPN talking heads anymore. So it's just a New York thing that I like to do. So, but it's just funny to hear that, like, that's my daughter's observation. So, again, so let me just backtrack over here. Daughter asks, why do you always ask brown people about the Knicks? And I tell her, because I care more about their basketball opinions. And I was telling my LA bud this, and he says, my daughter doesn't even see color anymore. And I said, is that because you peddle Bitcoin and remind her of Vin Diesel in Boiler Room? Can I get a holla for some holla? So I was watching Return of the Jedi with my kids a couple of nights ago. And when I heard C-3PO say, my programming prohibits me from acting like a deity? Let me repeat that. When I heard C-3PO say, my programming prohibits me from acting like a deity in Jedi, I thought, too bad every bitch bot at CNN is programmed the same. Van Jones excluded. He's a later stage Lando in my book, making amends. Again, this is me talking to my old LA bud. He was talking about how his daughter's half Latino, and he was saying how she doesn't even see color anymore. And I said, lucky for you, college admission standards are different. American Chinese test scores carry zero sway. Even Brendan Fraser in School Ties would be screwed today. So this is a Tofu the Terrible problem narrative redefined. Matilda, my daughter, was scarred from her first date with Tofu the Terrible because he came across as too mushy. Always talking about his bland, deadweight, conversationalist mother. Tofu the Terrible narrative problem solution. Tofu the Terrible proves to Matilda he's a bad boy, soy boy, by taking her to a tanning salon for a second date because tan soy boys look far less terrible. Tofu the Terrible problem solution. Tofu the Terrible proves to Matilda he's a bad boy, soy boy after he whips out a Make America Great Again at a vegan restaurant on the Lower East Side before he has his bud Chef Samuels light the tofu on top of his head after he removes the hat. And Chef Samuels sets it on fire with a blowtorch at this new vegan hotspot. And then from there, the bad boy soy boy tears off a piece and says to Matilda, try it. So this is a great message that I received from an old dear friend of mine from LA. And he says, never lose your edge, JK. And my response was, I just got chills down my spine. All of a sudden, I feel like my rocky training sequence after Adrian snaps out of the coma has just begun. For the record, stay-at-home dads can be trophy wives too. Stay-at-home dads can be trophy wives without leaning on our wives for startup money to flip homes and spend any more time with our retired contractor dads than we have to. James Gandolfini lives. Rest in peace, big fella. I teared up when he died. Daughter. It's my daughter. Is your book gonna look like this? And this is my wife. Put the book back where it belongs, my sweet. And this is my response. Sound more like your buzzkill blob, mother babe. Good to know you haven't stopped believing, though. Jeff Bezos. There's Jeff Bezos at home. Alexa, should I divorce my wife, Mackenzie? There's Alexa. Is she still modeling for Bud Light commercials? There's Jeff Bezos. Those commercials were in the late 80s. And Alexa says, fine, then seek out tighter new filling. Leave me out of it already, Mickey. Darth Vader is the Draymond Green of Jedi Knights. Instead of going toe-to-toe in a lightsaber match with Luke, Darth Vader hurls flying Death Star debris to throw Luke off his game instead. How low can you go, Darth? You know your wife doesn't care about being a sexual object of desire anymore when she chooses to pluck her blonde face hairs bent over out in the open in broad daylight, knowing I can catch her in the act every time. I love how every NBA broadcaster under 40 feels compelled to be LeBron's ego guardian protector, like it's some noble undertaking. He's Obama with talent, who only now made his school contributions public, who was never as dominant as MJ. Yay! I can't take no more! LeBron James would beat MJ in 101 because he moves better laterally is the weakest argument ever. Granted, he's got plenty of experience getting out of the way for the superstars to close the deal for him. Can I get a holla for some holla? I don't even know why Scottie Pippen gives a measured response in relation to LeBron being the greatest. Well, MJ never had to compete against LeBron. Yeah, he had to enforce his will on Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and the body-slamming bad boys of Detroit. Player. Caravan already sounds more dated than Lizard King. I can do anything. but keep fit in a 34 race past the release of Waiting for the Sun. That's the point where Jim Morrison's drinking got out of control. Yeah, and he was no longer sustaining himself on a pure acid Atkins diet. Ha! That was good. I'm glad I did a little riffing there. So this is my daughter, Samuel. She goes, Samuel's my lucky number 3. My daughter says, Samuel's your new favorite. And I said, just because Chef Samuel's slays your fear of eating tofu again after he fires up Tofu the Terrible with extra old peanut oil, we all can't be pescatarian heroes, Matilda. Anyone who wants to work can get a job in Trump's economy. Exit packages from my stay-at-home dad stint with the possibility of zero parole on the horizon are flying out of my ass as we speak. Happy the economy is no longer anemic, but chill, people. Thank God I'm no longer on Twitter. Good riddance. Anyone who wants to work can get a job in Trump's economy. Sounds more presumptuous than recommended writer on the rise of my resume, with no agents or paying gigs in sight yet. Or maybe I'm just being a paranoid, shadow-banned Jew about it. So this is me sabotaging an interview for a blogger job at InfoWars. I'm a soy boy! Who says stay-at-home dads can't be trophy wives too? I'm a soy boy! I never grew up! I'm a soy boy! I have no idea who the Eagles traded for Sean McCoy. I'm a soy boy! You will hire one. Yes, you will. And we can thumb wrestle all the time. I'm a soy boy! So Dual Dad Your Podcast. Dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Control our kids to comedy. Can make our kids great again. I love the Good Men Project. Long time. It's an honor to be affiliated with such a classy, menschy group of do-it-all dad men that are redefining what fatherhood means today. And I am completely in support of any writing platform that portrays and celebrates do-it-all dads in a far superior positive light than pretentious baby boomers, because baby boomer arrogance never dies. I'll talk to you guys soon.